Hello, and welcome to my top 10 steam locomotive video. This will mostly consist of British steam locomotives. Mostly. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? The GWR Kings. Designed by Charles Collett, most of them being built between 1927 and 1928, with a tractive effort around 40,000 pounds and a boiler pressure of 250 psi. These things were heavy hitters for the GWR's fleet. I like them just because I find them very cool to look at. But by God, I would kill for an HO model of this thing. Still need to get one on my bucket list. LMS 8F. Designed by William Stanier and built between 1935 and 1946, these were also heavy hitters but for the LMS, with a tractive effort of 32,000 pounds and a boiler pressure of 225 psi. These things were reliable goods engines, and I like these things because they're also neat to look at. Keep in mind, I'm going to use that reason a lot. The LSWR T9 is designed by Douglas Drummond and built between 1899 and 1901, designed for the LSWR and later the Southern Railway. They even lasted into BR days. Sometimes being referred to as Greyhounds, these things were used as express locomotives with a boiler pressure of 17,000 psi. They could reach speeds up to 80 miles per hour and could still reach speeds of 80 miles per hour even into BR days. My interest for the T9 sparked from when I was going to make my friend Tina Stories OC, Sean. His original model was built using a Bachmann Edward, but I didn't like it, and I said, I'll use a T9. And I ordered a Hornby one, did a lot of modifications to it, and oh my god, it was the right choice. They look so good and blue. I will probably put a picture up when I make the video. So, am I right? They look good in blue. LMS Ginty, designed by Sir Henry Fowler, these things were the main shunting engines for the LMS. They could provide speeds up to 60 miles per hour and had a tractive effort of 20,000 pounds, 3,000 more than the Greyhounds. My interest for the Ginty sparked from one of, if not the best original trains with Faces series, Jimmy the Ginty. Great show, I recommend it to anyone. I also have a Hornby model of the Ginty in SDGR Blue. Alright, top 5. The WD Austerity. Designed by Robert Riddles and based off the AF with heavy modifications and with a tractive effort of 34,000 pounds and top speed of 40 miles per hour with loads of 90 tons or more. These things were reliable and worthy replacements for the 8Fs. I like these things for their history. It was well documented. Another engine I need to get an HO model of though. The LBSC E4s. Designed by R.J. Billington, these things were bigger versions of the E3s. They had a tractive effort of 18,000 or 19,000 pounds with a top speed of, I think, 56 miles per hour. I like these things because they were just better than the E2s. Sue me! And I like these things for how fancy they look, especially with those cool funnels. The Caledonian 498 class, designed by John F. McCulshan. These beetle crushers were built for dock shunting and had a tractive effort of 18,000 pounds. These things were used in LMS days and even lasted into BR days. But sadly, none are around today. With not that much information, I didn't find the top speed, unfortunately. But the reason I like these things is they don't get enough love. Tiny little things that packed a real punch. An underdog, if you will. I mean, look at these things. They're adorable. I even built an HO model of one. Horace, his name is. The SDGR 7Fs. Designed by Henry Fowler, the 7Fs were reliable little dogs with a tractive effort of 35,000 pounds and top speed of 70 miles per hour. These things even lasted till BR days and into the final days of steam in the 60s. I'm happy to say that 2 of these things live on today. And I think my real appreciation for the 7Fs came from Over the Hills, from the character of Di. He was a 7F. And I can proudly say I own a Bachmann 7F. So let's freaking go. Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Class 5. Designed by J.A.F. Alspin for the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway and the LMS and later BR, with a tractive effort of somewhere between 16,000 and 19,000 pounds and a top speed of 50 miles per hour. These things were used on branch lines and shunting duties. One remains as the sole survival today in the National Collection. I think the reason I like these as well is the same reason for the Ginty. It comes from the character Horridge from Jimmy the Ginty, an old engine who will not let the advent of change him. And last but not least, anyone who knows me will know what the number 1 spot is. designed by H.G. Ivet. They had a tractive effort of 17,000 pounds, and the class survived into the 60s. Last one being withdrawn in 1967. And the reason I like these things was I chose an LMS Ivet to be my first OC. And I even have my OC in real life, due to the fact that I own a Bachmann one and I repainted an LMS Maroon. Like Arthur almost, but I don't compare him to Arthur. He's way better. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I die on this hill that it's the best loco ever. It's not. There's plenty of stronger, faster locomotives. It's just sentimental to me. And I'm not gonna again die on the hill that I say he's the best one. It's just sentimental. I like their design. And I can proudly say that it is one of my favorite locos. Now, this list, I don't really like ranking locos. They're all really cool to me, especially the USA Dock tanks. There's more locomotives out there. And if you lasted this long to this video, thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some new things about some locomotives.